for the first time. Right. Well, I've been
I've only
Joe.
had. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Hey, cut that part out, Joe Angel. I
Yeah.
interrupted you. Cut it out.
Good,
Cut it
good.
out, future Joe Angel.
All
Uh,
right, go ahead.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to Anime Me. I'm Salvador.
I'm Joe Angel,
This is a podcast where Joe Angel teaches me about anime.
teaching this dude about the love life of anime.
I'm the noob, and Joe Angel's the weeb. He knows all
I'm the
about it.
weed.
I know
I love it.
nothing about it.
Speaking of which, there's another term when people refer to people who are anime watchers and nerds and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
It's called otaku. That's the
Oh,
Japanese word.
I think I've seen this word before.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Otaku.
otaku, yeah, that's like the Japanese word for like anime nerd, stuff like that.
Okay.
Or that's
So,
what it's used for that term.
okay.
Yeah. Because really
It,
like weebs kind of more for like
it's more derogatory.
not the derogatory, it's just people who like non-Japanese people. So like Westerners, Americans,
Hmm.
who are in anime. Weeb is that term for that. But in Japan they use otaku a lot
Is there
in Japan.
there's got to be a word for somebody who's like a new person to anime. Is there a word for that?
Uh
Should we make a
Pretty
word?
much we can make a word.
Uh,
And pretty much just like a noob, like
yeah,
just
just a
noob
noob.
or
Yeah, yeah.
infants.
Yeah, infants.
This week we watched Bleach, which is one of my favorite all-time animes
Hmm.
I've
Hmm.
ever watched. I know on one of our earlier podcasts, you talked about when I bring these stuff up, I'm gonna bring up. You made the comment of I'm gonna say an anime that I love,
Hmm.
and you're gonna watch it, and you're gonna hate it.
Uh,
It's
uh-huh.
This is one of the ones that I love. But like I said, this is what I love. So I know a lot of stuff that I love. Do you like a lot of like background animes that aren't really popular,
Uh-huh.
which will be hard for some people to get into? Because I know there's
Yeah.
one that I'll show you later on. I talked to one of my friends about it, and he was like, "I couldn't get into it." I was like, "Dude, it is awesome."
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
He's like, "I don't know, man. I couldn't get into it, but I loved
Well, I
it."
mean, this one's got to be good because
Yeah.
it's got 16 seasons, Joe Angel.
Oh yeah, it's got
Right?
a total. So when
So people will
Bleach
watch it.
first came out, so we're gonna do a quick history real quick before we get into a quick synopsis. So Bleach started out as a manga, which came out in 2001
Hmm.
and ran all the way to 2016.
Holy.
So this had a long run,
Hmm.
and this is considered one of the big three. So
Big, big
the
three.
big three. So when you hear people in the anime community talk about the big three, oh, this big three or that's big three or this new big three, basically what that's referring to is three of the most popular manga series
Hmm.
that was based out of Shonen Jump. So Shonen Jump is a basically like a magazine with a collection of different mangas.
Hmm.
That's kind of it's like really popular Japan here in the States. And so the term big three was coined during the mid 2000s with Bleach, Naruto, and One Piece being the three most popular ones
Okay.
out of the whole manga series in Shonen Jump. And of course, people have talked about, okay, well, there's like with the new age, oh, these are the big three now, stuff like that. And even back in
Hmm.
like the 90s, some people say that the big three back in the 90s were Dragon Ball, Slam Dunk, Yu Yu Hakusho, Dosho,
Wait,
and
wait, go
anime.
back. What was that? Slam dunk?
Slam Dunk, it's
Slam.
about basketball.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Okay.
there is a
Okay.
ton of anime and manga almost anything you can think of.
Oh yeah.
Sports, tennis. There's even one that I saw recently that I'm probably gonna watch and probably get you to watch. I think it's about cycling.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
and let's do.
Wow.
I want to check that one out. Yeah, there's even one where it's about sports medicine. Like there's this kid who's aiming to be like a sports medicine doctor, and so all the stuff is like sports medicine related. There's a ton of stuff. There's something for everything in
Oh my
anime.
gosh.
That's why I tell you it's popular. So we're trying to get you into it because there's something for everybody
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah. Okay, okay.
Okay, that was manga. The anime came out in 2004 and ran all the way to 2012. That's 366 episodes. But
Holy. Okay.
they came back. Bleach has come back because they finally animated the final arc, which is the Thousand Year Blood War arc, and that
Mm-hmm.
came out last year in 2022.
Oh,
So
snap.
I waited 10 years for this final arc to get animated.
That's
Yeah,
insane. What's the we I don't know if we have we'll get into it later, but what
yeah.
I'll go ahead and put it out here. What's the deal? Okay. All right. Now, you don't have to answer that. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it. Let's get into it. So, first episode of Bleach. We open in. There's these group of thugs, punks,
Hmm.
whatever you want to call them, and there's just a kid in a high school uniform, and he's all asking him what happened. And in the background, you see like a vase or a plant that got knocked over and broken.
Hmm.
And then this high school kid just starts beating these guys up. He's like questioning them, starts beating them up. That's what I loved about the anime. They kind of did it in the manga too,
Hmm.
but especially when the anime they did it, it's pretty cool because they kind of just did like a little kind of what do you call it, like a sports card, like EA card, like for sports collectibles. Things like
Uh-huh.
that, like stat card. Gave you his name, Ichigo Kurosaki. He's the main character.
Hmm.
15 years old. He's a high school student. And we go through this first beginning. This kid can see ghosts and talk to ghosts.
Hmm.
So this is bringing you to word, okay, so this is going to be a little bit supernatural. This kid can talk to ghosts.
Hmm.
So, there's going to be something crazy happening with that. And then we go follow him to his house. And as soon as he walks in, you hear somebody scream his name. And then he just gets drop kicked. We
Yeah.
found out the person who drop kicked him was his dad.
Yeah.
And then they get into his hospital, and then he has two little sisters, Karin and Yuzi, and they're just like, this happens so often because you can tell by their reactions because they're just like, it's an everything thing. They're just like, why do y'all have to be like stupid?
Yeah.
Why are you acting like this?
They're
You're
like
a grown. Yeah,
they're roughhousing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's going on about, Dad, you're ridiculous. You should act like a grown man. Like, you're a grown man. Why are you acting like a kid? Stuff like that.
Hmm.
But then we go on. There's new ghosts that follow him home and everything. All while in the background. Before that happens, you get a quick little kind of intro. There's this chick that's talking, letting you know stuff about these things called hollows,
Hmm.
which we'll get into it here in a minute. So we run through that. The kid goes back next day, brings a new vase and flower and stuff for the girl who's dead. He doesn't see her there, so to him, he's just like, oh, I guess she kind of like moved on, went on.
Hmm.
Go to school, stuff like that. Goes home, you see something stalking. They don't really show it. Kind of
Hmm.
just like an outline type of thing.
Hmm.
Something following that little girl. The kid's in his room, laying down, just chilling. Then all of a sudden, he sees like a butterfly, and then this chick just walks in through his window,
Hmm.
just like looking for something. And he's just like, what the heck's going on? Like, hey, why are you in my room? She's just paying him no mind.
Hmm.
And he finally just like, he kicks her and like, he kind of like snaps her out of her trance to where she's like, wait, you can see me? Wait, you kicked me. He's like, yeah, I can see you. What are you doing in my room? Are you
Hmm.
like, are you breaking in? Because you are. This is the worst way to do it. And they get and we come to find out her name is Rukia. She's a Shinigami, and she has a sword, which we'll get into it later. And then she puts him in the binding spell using Keto. And then she's explaining to him what she is, what she does. They're there. There's these Shinigamis. What they do is they go find these souls that are just wandering around, and they kind of help them move on to the afterlife. They
Yeah.
like kind of, I guess, like exercise them or cleanse them, however you want to call it.
Yeah.
But she also explains there's these other things called hollows, which are like, I guess, closely would be like demons and stuff like that. They go and prey on these souls that are wandering. They prey on people because that's how they feed and get stronger, stuff like that. And then in the background, you're hearing the noise, screaming. The dude's all like, well, there's one outside. Go deal with it. That's what you're here to do. And she's like, what? And then she finally hears it. And so we get into this whole thing of like, just stay here, I'll go deal with it. Because he hears his sister screaming and stuff like that. Because the Hollow has finally made it to his house. He's terrorizing his sisters, got one of them captured, kind of knocks out the other one. And this dude's trying to break out of this violence spell she's explaining to him, like, what are you doing? You can't do that. Like, you're just a human. Like, you're gonna kill yourself if you keep breaking it. But he ends up breaking it, which throws her off because she's just like, what's going on? Dude, homie runs out, grabs a bat, starts fighting this thing. She's just like trying to get him to stop, like, hey, you're gonna die, like, let me deal with this. Anyway, so he gets smashed up. He gets into the position where she has to jump in front of him to save him. She gets a vital hit. She's down. And she's just like, hey, if you want to help, you got to stab yourself with my sword so I can give you some of my power. He's just like, all right, I'll do it. Because this is to save my family and my sisters. Stab me in the chest. They do the whole thing. He gets Shinigami powers. And then we get the awesome victory song intro.
Yeah.
Slide in with the guitar.
Yep.
And you know it's about to pop off. So he gets his Shinigami uniform and he's got this humongous sword. Rukia's in the background just like monologuing like what just happened? Like this dude just
Who is this
took
dude?
all of my powers,
Yeah.
you know? And he's all like, I've never, she's going through like, he broke a keto, which is something no normal human can do. He
Hmm.
took all my power, and he's got like this ridiculously huge sword that shouldn't be that big.
Hmm.
And he's just like powerful. Slays the Hollow. He helps the little girl cross over, and then we go into what happened again. His SAT card, Ishiko Kurosaki, 15 years old, occupation, high school student, and then it pops out Shinigami or Soul Reaper, and
Hmm.
that is the end of our first episode.
Woo!
Yeah,
Yeah, you covered it, bro. I want to
covered.
go. I want to go back to the beginning. This grunge rock kind of pop rock music that just starts it, and I'm like, I don't know. It feels like not emo screamo, but a little emo screamo. Because this is what year is this? This is
2000. So this was 2004.
2004. So yeah,
It kind of reminded me like a pop rock type group or rap rock group.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
so this opening song is called Asterix,
Mm-hmm.
and it's by a band called Orange Range.
Orange
You go
Range.
to YouTube, yeah, you go to YouTube, look at the music video because it is so like early 2000s, like
Yeah.
you know what that is.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely get that the vibe from it, and you can kind of feel that. Yeah, you could tell this one goes way back, or the anime is like early 2000s. You know, with the music and the art style too. It's kind of it feels a little bit not throwback, but just like it feels like it's 20 years old, but not
Yeah,
right. Yeah, not in a bad
you
way
can
though.
tell it's age.
The intro with the way they kind of art styled all of the intro credits, the way they're kind of looking and all the different coloring and stuff like
Yeah,
that. It feels a little bit throwback. Kind of, it reminded me of, it just feels a little throwback. I don't know what it really reminded me of. Okay, so,
which the intro
uh,
credits too, real quick, I love it because sometimes some credits will go
yeah,
through, they'll show you what will happen. This intro
yeah.
credits is just like showing you the characters, and they're just doing like random
I
stuff.
think, yeah, I think that's what I
Yeah,
kind of liked about it. I was kind of watching it. It's kind of like generic. It's a little generic. You just kind of see
yeah.
the characters and they're kind of back to back, or there's like a red filter over the whole thing, and there's some sword play
It
going
doesn't
on.
give
So
you too much away of the episode or what you're watching.
yeah. Also, we find out what's her name, Rukia.
Rukia,
She's
yeah.
like jumping from like telephone to telephone pole. I'm like, who is this? And then we jump to Ichigo, and he's like straight up curb stomping some kid. I'm like, he's like really putting this guy's. He's like a Bully Maguire. He's over here. I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye, and
He's Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 3. He's got the Venom suit and
uh
he's just all decked out in black.
but you know what? He's a good guy though, because you could tell he's like, he's doing it for the good things. Because he sees, we already know he's special because he can see ghosts, and they even like mention it. He's like, I've been seeing ghosts, forever. It's no big deal. So already know we kind of established he's a little different.
Yeah,
Kid
normal
sees
kids do.
ghosts.
Well, there's
This is
there's some things where kids can see ghosts, which is
mhm.
what people think their imaginary friends are. It's just ghosts. But
Okay. Yeah, so we see that we see the his two sisters, and he seems like a really like stand-up guy, even though he's beating up these kids, but he's doing it for a good reason. He's a sweetheart of some sort. He loves his family, you can see that. And then I don't know what happens. He's like there at the house, and then he sees this thing on the news that there's like a city disturbance. Did he go did
yeah, so basically that's what the Hollow's. So the Hollow's going around before he gets to his
mhm.
house, kind of just
But
looking
is
for him
is
because he can sense his
Well, here's the
power.
thing though. Like, did he run out there to go like save somebody, or was he just out and about and it just had kind of?
It was kind of like a out and about
Yeah,
thing.
he
Like he
wasn't he
was
wasn't
just
searching
out
this.
there.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, because then he
Nah.
tries to protect this girl who's just like randomly trying to get
Yeah.
away, and then there was the other thing too. So she's a soul reaper, or what did you call her?
Shinigami.
I'd say that slower.
Shinigami.
Okay,
Like
she's
say
a soul
she.
reaper.
Yeah, she's a Soul Reaper. That's the American translation, Soul Reaper.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, once again, I watched this dubbed, not subbed. When you started watching this one, were you watching this in 2004, 3?
Let's see. I
It
started
was,
watching this. I think this was when I started getting into.
so you
Started
weren't
getting.
watching it.
I started getting into subs. So this was probably around 2007, 2008.
Okay,
Around
yeah,
the time I
because
was getting into high school, that's when I started like watching subs, like the Japanese audios and stuff like
this
that.
is on Toonami or Adult Swim. Which one was it?
I think it
It was
was.
This was a
But
Cartoon Network one.
yeah, yeah, I think it was on both
Or
of them. I think
yeah, this
because
is the way that.
yeah, Cartoon Network has this thing where they would show the stuff on Toonami, and then they would
Hmm.
show the same show on Adult Swim later at night because they were
Yeah,
able to show like blood and stuff.
more.
Yeah, show
Yeah,
more.
okay. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so I was trying to look for this anime and I couldn't find it. I looked on my Crunchyroll and did a search and I was
Yeah.
doing a search and the only place I could find it was on Hulu.
Yeah, so the thing about that is like it was on Crunchyroll, but then whenever the final arc reanimated came out, the Thousand Year Web War, they actually switched it to where Hulu got a hold of it, and so everything moved on to Hulu. And fun fact, in
Hmm.
some countries, you can watch it on Disney Plus.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Weird.
Yeah, it's so weird. But I guess that's
Okay,
just
so
how production works. I guess I don't know.
there we find out that there's something up with Ichigo's spirit energy. This is what
Yeah,
the Soul Reaper tells us. Rukia is like, this guy, his spirit energy is off the charts.
yeah. He's super special.
Super special. I like the way they did this show. Once again, we'll go back to the whole exposition and I'm
Yeah,
kind of explaining stuff,
yeah,
but they kind of they you're in it and I'm kind of where I like to be able to watch the show with the characters.
yeah.
You know, the characters are kind of like, what's going on? Who is this? Who's that? You know, and you have to have some stuff like
Yeah.
explain like what are these big monsters that are walking around? We come in on a spider Joker looking thing. You know, it's got a
Yeah,
mask, but it's got like, or maybe it's spider slash what's the thing? And praying mantis kind of
praying
looking
mantis.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, they kind of explain some of that stuff for us. So I
How'd
enjoyed
you like
that.
the? Did you like this her explanation of her like kid like drawings when they're in the room?
Wait, no, I did. I don't remember that part.
It
What
was
did
so it
she?
was after like when she got into his room and they're talking
Hmm.
and she like tied him up and she started explaining like hollows and souls to him.
Oh yeah, that's right. He
Like
was
little
like,
kid drawing. And he's all
yeah,
like, "What are you drawing, son?"
yeah. He was straight up roaster.
Yeah,
Yeah, and he's all like on the ground, like with
yeah,
her with the spell on him, and he can't even
yeah,
move, and he's still like roasting her. I was like,
yeah.
bro, this,
He's
he's got some, you got some real gusto, man.
oh yeah, no fear.
No fear. Yeah, and that's the other thing too is like so he gets up, he's like paralyzed. They hear a scream because she comes in through the window and sees him there. She's kind of drawn to him because of his spirit energy. Is that probably what we're thinking here?
Yeah, yeah. Like she's like trying to find because she knows the hollow's there, but she can't
Mm-hmm.
sense it because
Yeah,
his spirit energy is like overpowering to the point where it's clogging her senses almost.
yeah.
It's like
Okay,
a thick Spider-Man 2.
okay.
Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 2 when he loses his spider senses.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I noticed that because she's kind of like, I can't sense these hollows. Is that the
Yeah,
word? Yeah,
hollows.
hollows. She can't sense them as well, and something's going on there. Let me go back though. He comes in and the dad kind of smacks him around a little bit. Seems like a regular occurrence, but you know, like I guess we're led to believe that Ichigo and his dad they like kind of fight back and forth, and he's kind of not kind of training a little bit, right? Like kind of like
Yeah,
always, you know,
a
keeping him
little
on
bit.
his
It's keeping him on
toes.
so. Yeah, yeah. So
Uh,
like,
but is he a single dad?
yes.
Okay.
So
I'm
yeah,
gonna say, is this,
they explain it.
they'll explain it
I
later,
say yeah.
but let me just say, is this a regular occurrence in animes? Lots of single dads raising kids? Because I feel like this is probably like the third like anime where they're like just a
uh,
dad.
not really. A lot of it, you'll see a lot of them. A
Uh-huh.
lot of the stuff where
Hey,
either
I
it's
have
a
no
single
problem with it.
parent.
You know, this
Yeah,
is representation. This is
yeah,
dads out there can do it, you
yeah.
know.
Hey, dads can do it. He's a single dad and he's doing it.
Okay.
But no, there's just like it just depends on like what the kind of background they want to give for their characters.
But
Like
is this gonna
some of them
come into
don't have
play?
parents. It'll come into play. Like they'll talk about why he's single.
What's
They'll get
going
into
on?
like what's going on. They'll get into his dad,
Mm-hmm.
his
Mm-hmm.
family line and stuff like that. They'll get
Okay.
into all of that. Yeah.
So yeah, he you can tell that he's kind of Ichigo is driven to kind of like protect his family and protect just mostly people, I think. I feel like that. I think he's kind of like maybe drawn to it or something like that. I can't tell right now, but he gets up his sister Karin
Yeah, Karim.
is captured by one of these big monsters, this big
Yeah,
hollow monster,
yeah,
and he thinks he's gonna go over there and beat this thing up, even though he's just a regular old dude. And she even tells him the Soul Reaper's like,
yeah,
you're no match for this thing,
yeah,
and he doesn't care. But then yeah, like you said, she gets hurt and she has to transfer her powers over to him, and she's only going to transfer a little bit. I was like, if I were him, I'd be like, is there an easier way to transfer this power over
Other
than
than stabbing me in the chest.
like straight up in the chest? I was just
Straight
thinking,
up Pulp Fiction.
yeah, straight up. I'm like, is there a medallion I can wear? Can you do that special trance thing you did on me earlier? Something.
Yeah.
I thought that was
There's a
pretty.
spell that'll do this easier.
No, this is the fastest way. Let me stab you. And he's
Yeah.
like, yes. And then he gets the glow up. He's like, he goes from Ichigo to like
Ichigo.
Ichi glow up, bro. And straight up handles the monster. I'm like, okay, this guy plugged into the Matrix and he knows karate and kung fu.
Straight pull the Neo.
Yeah, and he's got a Final Fantasy size
Mm.
sword
Oh, yeah.
and handles the monster. I also love this, and this I think this is I don't know, it's got to be a regular occurrence on animes so far from what I've watched. The whole inner monologue and them like seeing something special with somebody, because Rukia's like watching, she's like, who is this guy? How is he able to do this? What's going on? He's
Yeah,
special.
it's a regular occurrence when it comes to shonen.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay. So yeah,
yeah,
that was the other thing too.
yeah.
So I noticed that at the beginning of it, I was like Shonen Jump. Is that
Yeah.
you were saying like is that an umbrella? Is like somebody who
It's
produces or writes all these things, or is it
so
a
Shonen Jump,
production?
it's a like a production company. So it's like how would you say? Think of like how Marvel Studios is
Mm-hmm.
with Super Spider-Man comics and
Okay.
all that and the DC. So
So
think of Shonen Jump being like that.
okay. So
Like they just for help release all these mangas and stuff like that
mhm.
in Japan. So they got like all these artists that have their own like stories and stuff like that. But they all go to Shonen Jump, like, hey, that's what I got. And is it good enough to be released? They're like, yeah, we'll put you in weekly Shonen Jump, and then we'll see how engaging go on from there.
Okay, so is she gonna get her powers back? Because he's now like this. I'm guessing that it's gonna lead to him like, all right, he's gonna be a Soul Reaper now. Like he's kind of almost destined to
Mm.
do it, or he's a natural. So he's like, okay, well, this guy's gonna go around and. But I'm like, she gave him all her powers.
She basically unlocked like a hidden potential in him, like
Uh-huh.
giving her his powers.
Yeah,
Because his basic energy just took all of hers to unlock his
yeah.
type of thing. Yeah.
Because at first I'm thinking like, I guess she's gonna die. I was like, this is bold. This is bold. We're watching a show. They introduce these characters, and then a character is gonna straight up die. But I'm guessing, I mean, no spoilers, Joey Joel, but she's not gonna die, right?
I
He
would say it carries on
carries.
into like
Okay,
this first whole like 2 seasons.
okay. So
Like that brings in everything to what their situation is with all that.
okay, this is an interesting semi departure. I didn't see any kind of fan service. We can
Now this one is like there'll be some later on,
later on.
but not as much.
Okay, yeah.
This more of like so the creator Kubo Tite
Hmm.
was like really just all like this is all about fighting.
Yeah.
This is a guy with swords, samurais. This is just he's getting stronger.
Hmm.
He's fighting all these hollows and stuff like that. This is what we're about. There's some fan service stuff, but like I said, it's not a lot. It's more of like a fighting anime. It's got some good background stories. It's got some good plots.
Hmm.
It's one of the stuff I love
Uh,
about it.
and this is I mean, it says it right there up in the title. This is a shonen, so it's made for
Yeah,
teenagers, teenage boys.
yeah, yeah. That's what the demographics go towards. Yeah.
The name Bleach, does it, now that I think about it, I'm guessing they're like cleansing souls or cleansing, the world of like these evil things, right? Do you think that's what this name means? Why it's called Bleach? Because where does that, unless, am I going to find out later what bleach means?
Mm.
Or is that, like, yeah, I'm like, bleach, bleach. Am I reaching here for this, for what this title means? Or is it just kind of like, we'll just
Yeah.
call this bleach. It's just going to be called bleach.
Yeah, so basically, they did an interview with the creator,
Hmm.
Kubo. So what he said in the interview was like the first title that he came up with this when he was creating it was called Black, but he felt that was kind of like, too simple,
Hmm.
too whatever. Let's see, go back. Let's see where did I write everyone else. Let's see. So the first title he came up with was Black, but he explained in an interview that he felt it was too simple as a title, as was the inversion White. So Kubo changed White to Bleach, referring to how Bleach, the black clothes of the Reapers,
Okay.
to give his new shonen in the manga. Yeah.
I think, yeah, well, then I think that's where, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, that's kudos to him because like that's what I kind of thought. Like, I think I got there too with what was happening in the show and with the name of the title. I
Yeah.
think it aptly named.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm guessing we're gonna probably we're gonna see he's like gonna be part of the Soul Society of some sort. I'm guessing
Yeah.
eventually, and we'll kind
Yeah.
of figure out what all that means.
Oh, yeah.
And 10
I'm
years
gonna say
later.
is oh yeah, 10 years.
So what happened? Like, did they like? Did they? What the deal with the hiatus? Like, it apparently was doing really well. I mean, they had all these seasons, and then they decided to like call it a quits and then come back, or did they catch up to the manga and then had to wait for more manga to come out, or what was the deal?
So even though Bleach was part of the big three, later on during the series, it's kind of like as far as like sales and popularity goes, kind of fell off manga wise and started like dipping down a little bit.
Hmm.
And so whenever, because like I said, it went on for a long time.
Hmm.
So basically, it was just like due to low ratings type of
Oh,
things.
it
Like
fell off a little.
it kind of fell off a little, and so they're like, oh yeah. And then even to whenever he was going through the final arc, like the last couple of like it was kind of like rushed a
Hmm.
little bit.
Hmm.
So kind of like towards the end, he was kind of like having to like kind of rush some things and stuff like that because he did too. So he was kind of like kind of getting worn out because working for Jump being in the weekly manga,
Hmm.
they have deadlines and stuff, so they have to have the chapter out for the following issues and stuff like that. Time based stuff, a lot of it's pent up and stuff like that. So, and he was already getting towards the end of it with the manga, so he was kind of like, yeah, I'm just gonna do this. But like I said, there were still a lot of fans. It still had a huge fan base in the beginning, and so they were finally like, you know what, we did, like I said, because it finished in 2016
Hmm.
with the manga. And so they're just like, finally, yep, let's do this final arc. And they're doing it in 4 parts, I believe.
Hmm.
So it'll be 4 parts, 13 episodes, each of those 4 parts. And when I tell you, when I watched it, the first episode
Hmm.
brought me to tears.
No
Being
way.
able to
Yeah.
see my boy each go back and how like improved the animation style was. Even between the first episode and the last episode of the original one, the 366, you could see the difference in the animation, like how upgraded it
Oh,
was.
wow.
But even from that to this now,
Yeah.
it was like another jump in like just that quality of the animation.
Okay.
Like they went all out and it was so amazing.
Uh,
And being able to hear like that music kick in too was
do they keep the
it's just
same?
it's one thing I love.
They keep the
So
music?
so they keep some of the music as far as like compositions go. So like throughout the anime and stuff, you hear like the little instrumental stuff like that. So that was music composed by Shudo Sagisu.
Hmm.
Like he was a composer and stuff for the entire Bleach animes, and they brought him back for the last art too that's airing right now. But oh man, I love all the stuff he composed in this anime. Like this is like that was one of the reasons too why it became my favorite was just the musical, the composing part, the instrumental stuff. Like I fell in love with it.
Is it a thing for the all the monsters that have like a hole inside of them, like or
Yeah, that's part of the thing.
them
Kind of
kind
why
of
they're
they're called
hollows.
hollows? Okay, because I
Yeah,
noticed that on
because
the
they're like
last one.
missing. Think of like missing their heart, missing their soul.
Okay,
Like they're missing a part of them, so that's why they're monsters. They're not whole.
okay, and then the holes,
Yeah,
I guess they're like whole, like that they are whole, but then they're like,
yeah, they're just like the regular. So it's like what we saw, like the little girl,
hmm.
that old man. They're just
But
yeah.
they're kind of wandering the earth, and she's kind of like going. Rukia's the Soul Reaper is going and like kind of releasing them or
Yeah, she's helping them move on
helping them.
because if they stay around too long,
They turn into.
they'll eventually become hollows. Yeah,
Cause so okay, so right now these holes are loyal, and then if
yeah,
not, they become hollows who
yeah,
are terrible.
yes. Come true.
Uh,
Good monsters.
okay, okay, yeah. Well, you know what? Hit me with some facts. You got any facts for me?
So since you watched this in the English dub,
Yeah, I did.
I'm pretty okay with the voices as far as
Oh,
English
go
is
for
good. Like
going
I'm pretty good
going
reader.
back and forth, like they're not too bad. I was
Yeah,
about to ask you that.
no, it wasn't too much of like a change. Like I could tell, like okay, I could see his voice. The other thing that really threw me off is that little girl in the beginning, the ghost girl.
Uh-huh.
They kind of made her sound like a 30-year-old woman.
She was actually okay.
She was like 12.
Wait,
They made her sound like super
in the dub or the sub?
in the dub.
Oh,
In
really?
the sub, she has a high voice in the sub.
Okay, yeah.
So like you tell okay, but in the dub, it's like she has like a deeper female
I
voice. So it's like, it's gonna be hard to this as a
is
kid.
that a general thing? Like usually I feel like most voices or from what I've seen in the sub, the Japanese style version, I feel like all the voices are just a little higher than the dub versions. Am I wrong to think that?
Nah, just a little
Just
bit
a little
because,
bit?
like I said, a lot of the times too for Japanese voice actors, a lot of them are female.
Yeah. Okay.
So but some of them, like you said, like when we talked about last time about with Goku's voice actor,
Mm-hmm.
his voice in Japanese by a girl, and his is still a little high, so it's just getting that octave. But like in America, like a lot of voice actors will kind of go across different animes,
Mm-hmm.
so you'll start recognizing some voices here and there as we go through watching the dub.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be like, oh hey, that guy sounds like this person from this anime, or hey, I think that's this person from this anime. But a fun fact about Ichigo's voice actor for the English
Mm-hmm.
dub is that he's a former Power Ranger.
What? Which one? The the green one.
He's the no, technically yes. So he's played by he's voiced by Johnny Bosch,
Uh-huh.
who replaced Walter Jones in the Power Rangers, the Mighty Morphin
What? That's
the dinosaur. So he's the guy that took over as the Black Ranger.
That's dope, dude. Like,
Yeah,
does he do a lot of this like voiceover acting
yeah,
for like
yeah.
animes?
He's got a lot under his belt.
Oh my gosh, that's cool.
Yeah,
That makes sense. That's kind of interesting that he goes from like being a ninja to going to being like like
so
that's a weird
yeah.
little I guess that must be that happens to a lot of like
I gotta ask, do you still have those gloves
gloves.
from? Remember when we did the truck or
Oh,
treat? Yeah.
I dressed up like the Black Power Ranger. That is the best picture.
Those gloves. I don't know what it was
Those
about. It was just the glove.
those white gloves came in like
Yeah.
a box to handle like a light bulb for my projector. They don't even fit. Oh man, nah,
Oh,
they got
yeah.
lost, man. They got lost in the sauce,
Oh,
bro.
man.
You know what? If we get like an Instagram or or some sort of online presence where I'll
Yeah.
post a picture or
So
or a
the-
loop of the video. I got a video of me
yeah.
moving around in that costume. It's the best. I
Oh,
crack up
man.
just looking at it.
Uh, but yeah, so there's four animated movies
hmm
too, but
I,
they're
okay,
non-canon.
I
So as
noticed
we
I saw
said, like
one of them.
canon, yeah, yeah. There's Memories of Nobody, which came out in 2006. There's the Diamond Dust Rebellion, which came out in 2007, and then Fade to Black, which came out in 2008, and then Hellverse, which came out in 2010.
And have you seen them?
Seen two of them. I've seen Memories of
Uh-huh.
Nobody and Hellverse. I haven't gotten around to watch the
Are
other.
they,
I do like Hellverse because I like Ichigo's one of his forms. Which, by the way, if oh, I'm gonna say this to help drag you in, if you
yeah,
like
yeah.
all of Goku's transformations in Dragon Ball Z,
Okay.
Ichigo's got some transformations
So
coming.
he levels up.
He levels up. Tell you, bro.
The Ichi glow.
Ichi glow ups.
Okay, okay. I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
But yeah, so there's those movies that came out. Like I said, people like him. Like I said he's got some different forms depending on movies. So
This
my
one
next
is
question to you.
all
Oh,
right,
go
go
ahead.
for it. No, no, go ahead.
All
You're
right.
good.
Do you think this could work in live action?
Live action. I'm trying to think of any show I've watched where they've had monsters like this and it makes sense and it's kind of yeah, I think it could. It seems pretty doable, I think. I think you'd have to reimagine the monsters because right now, the first episode, I was kind of like, I wasn't like completely taken out of it, but I was a little bit like, these monsters are around, and I'm as a character design, I'd like to see them look a little differently, maybe. But I guess we're gonna go through a bunch of different iterations of what these monsters look like.
Yeah,
They're all gonna have these kind of weird, like their big teeth. By the way, all flat teeth, by the way.
all flat teeth.
They're herbivores. They're all
Yeah.
plant eaters, but they got the wrong teeth for what they're trying to do here.
Yeah.
But I think yes. I think I could see this as a, it seems very tangible, but within like a way that I'm trying to think of any movie that has had like kind of monsters stomping around besides like Godzilla,
Yeah.
and then but you haven't had anybody. What's that one movie with the robots, the mechs?
Pacific
Pacific
Rim.
Rim. Yeah. Like you got these big monster things and they have these mechs. I mean, like, yeah. And then the soul thing. It would be really fantastical, but I could definitely watch something like that.
Well, guess what? You can.
No.
If you got
Joey,
Netflix, do you still have your Netflix?
I still got my Netflix, bro.
Go to Netflix.
They're
Netflix did a live action version of it.
like a Netflix original?
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
way. What? Is
Yes.
it how old is this? Is
It
it
came
any
out
good?
in it came out in 2018, 5 years ago.
2018. I mean, dude, is it? I mean,
Ah, so,
you don't have to tell me. Just, is it worth me watching? I don't know if
I'll give it a
oh,
5.
5 out
I'll
of
give
five.
it
That's pretty
a
good,
I'll give it a
Joey.
5 out of 10.
Oh, 5 out of 10. Okay,
I'll give it
50%.
a
Yikes. I
50%
mean,
because it's
well, I mean, it's a lot to live up
yeah.
to, right? I mean, there's probably a huge
Oh
fandom for
yeah,
Bleach.
yeah. Like I said, it's part
I
of the
mean,
big three. For me, it was just so basically what because it's an hour and about 45 minutes on, which basically is gonna cover like the whole first kind of like the first 2 seasons. They kind of condense it down into an hour and 45 minute. And they,
what's it called? Is it called Bleach?
yeah, it's called Bleach. Yeah.
Hmm.
So they kind of like change some stuff, kind of move some stuff around just to like make it to fit for that next kind of like next arc that would happen.
Do you watch it like one of those sci-fi original movies, where they just Photoshop in characters and monsters and they look like they look like something off of like Microsoft Paint or something?
uh, I would say like a step up from that
Okay,
because
good.
they didn't look too bad as far as
Yeah.
like the graphics go. To me, it was just more like story wise type stuff.
Do they reimagine these monsters, or are they kind of like true to the hollows?
They're kind of similar
Yeah.
to them. Like I said, they're pretty good, like with the mask and stuff. So the mask will be pretty important to identify hollows and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah.
Like those will come into play a lot. But it was just like the character designs were pretty good. I liked them. Like
Okay.
for me, it was just like the story, like them like condensing down like this entire thing into like this short time span. I felt like was a little,
Hmm.
wouldn't have been good if they would have like did it, would have just cut it and made it like a series type thing, kind of like the
Hmm.
Cowboy Bebop one.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe it would have been better, but yeah,
As long as they're wielding swords. Are they wielding
yeah,
swords?
it,
Okay,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
in. I'm
I will
in.
say it's way better than Dragon Ball Evolution.
Okay. You know what I would like to see is maybe if they got Quentin Tarantino to direct an anime. I mean, he's almost there,
Ooh,
right? He's almost
yeah.
there. I mean, Kill Bill was
He's
pretty dang
oh yeah.
close. Lots of
Oh,
blood, lots of like kind of flying around. He can get away with the silliness. Dude,
oh yeah,
I'm gonna get
dude.
a hold of Quentin Tarantino.
Call him up. Let him
I'm
know.
a
Like, hey, I got
hey,
something for you.
I got an idea for you.
All right. So, all that being said, where would you rank this on a scale of 1 to 10 of
1
most
to
likely to
10.
watch?
Let's see here. Out of 10 sword stabs, bro. Uh
10 sword stabs to the chest. How many are you
yeah,
taking?
how many taking if I'm gonna to watch this show? Oh man, it's tough because I really enjoyed it. I love how they kind of like they left it all open. They left me like thinking like what's going on. They didn't give me everything. It seems like they've got a lot to flesh out here. We've got a lot to
Mhm.
I've got a lot of unknowns. Like who's the Soul Society? Who is Rukia? What is, like who is where's the mom? You know, like all
Yeah.
these, I got all these questions, and I can see myself watching this, and knowing that they've made like 4 movies, they've made this many seasons, makes me think that this show is worth watching if there's that many episodes. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh yeah.
there's no accident that they have this much content and people weren't into it. It has to be good. And from what I watched, it was pretty good. But it's just, I've got like 30 minutes a week pretty much. The rest of the time I'm
Pretty much.
working. Okay, I
Yeah.
work 23 hours and 30 minutes a day, and then I sleep for 5 minutes, and then
Yeah.
so it's just
Got some finite time.
it,
Yeah.
yeah, I gotta find that amount of time. It's 300 and how many episodes did you say?
So 366 for the
366.
original run, and then you got the new stuff coming out.
Okay,
So like I said, it'll be
as a show, I'm like, I'll give it, I'll give it 8. I'll give it an 8. But as far as me coming back and watching it, it's tough. I'm tough. It's tough for me to. I'd have to have like maybe 3 TVs. Oh, you know what? I need somebody to go in and take out, like, they've got to have filler episodes, right? Get rid of the filler
yeah.
episodes.
It's for fillers. Yeah.
I need to have a skip button to skip the intros. So then now the show is like 15 minutes
No
long.
intros.
No intro, no outro, no fluff. Get rid of some of the unnecessary dialogue, and I can do it, bro. Just because, gosh, it's a lot to watch. It's a lot to
Yeah.
watch, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's a lot of
I
episodes.
think yeah, I think I can watch it though. I think I can do it. So I'll give it an 8.5. Eight,
8.5 for
eight,
Bleach,
eight and a
guys.
half sword stabs, bro. I liked it a
Eight and a
lot.
half source apps.
I love the art style, and the fact that you are teasing that it gets even better in the latest season.
Oh yeah. Tell you. Oh,
Hey, does
because so my friend that I've talked to here in Austin,
mm-hmm,
he's an anime nerd too.
mm-hmm,
So we talked about Bleach. He hasn't read a manga, whereas I have read a manga.
mm-hmm,
So for him, the new stuff coming out, like
mm-hmm.
this new arc, he's like, it reminded me like we're texting each other. He's like, "Dude, can we leave this? Can we leave this?" He's like, "What's gonna happen next?" He's like, "Wait, don't tell me. I want to watch." He's like, "But I want to know because I know you know." I was like, "Dude, just like it," because there's stuff that happens where it's like, oh gosh,
So good.
so good.
Okay, well, I mean, I think I could do it. It's just I got so much else to watch, bro.
A lot of stuff,
I got a
man.
lot to. By the way, do you think there's a list out there where someone's like taken this show and go, you can skip this episode. Can I skip
Oh
some
yeah, I'm pretty
episodes?
sure.
Can I skip some
I'm
episodes?
pretty sure. I'm
In,
pretty sure
in,
there'll be some.
I mean,
There's a list out there to where like
in your
to
person,
follow the main plot to get to like get the gist of it.
in
Yeah, there's some episodes you can skip.
okay, okay,
Yeah,
all right.
like I said, there are some filler episodes. There are some episodes where I
Uh-huh.
think really need to watch to get the full gist of some of the stuff that will happen.
All right, I'm watching it.
Watch it. All right, guys. Well, that's all the time we have for the day. Thank you for joining us here on Anime Me Podcast. As always, if you are a fan of Bleach, drop a comment. Let us know what you thought about it. Let us know what dragged you into it when you first started it. If you're new into anime, and you're gonna watch this one for the first time, drop a comment. Let us know what you thought about it. As again, guys, please no spoilers for all those new anime watchers because we know what's coming up. We know what's gonna happen, but we want people to enjoy it the way we did for the
Hmm,
first
hmm.
time.
Thanks for listening, guys.
All right, we'll see you on the next one, guys.
Sayonara.
Sayonara.